Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to forget the version of yourself that once needed permission, and instead remembered who you truly are? Because right now, something remarkable is already happening. Even if you aren't consciously aware of it yet, you're beginning not just to understand, but to embody a new way of being. One that almost seems like you've always been this way. Because what if you already were? That you're listening to the sound of these words forming internal echoes. You can begin focusing on combining all these ideas into a new operating system, like slipping into a perfectly tailored suit of thoughts, woven from threads of unshakable certainty, charm, resilience, charisma, and humour. Let's imagine this for a moment. A man walks into a room. Not just any man, a presence. He doesn't say a word, yet the room shifts. He knows, they feel it. That blend of radical authenticity, playful sharpness, and an energy that whispers, I don't need your approval. And that is why you want to give it. Now ask yourself, was it what he said or what he believed? Because people, they don't follow logic, they follow certainty. And certainty comes not from knowing, but from deciding. Just like now, you're deciding to let go of the old, to forget the belief that held you back, to unlearn limitations, like they were never real to begin with, because weren't they? Or were they just clever illusions that you once rehearsed as truth? Now take a moment. Think about how a punchline can be hidden in a truth bomb. Like the comic who says, I used to be afraid of judgment until I realised everyone's too busy judging themselves. And the crowd laughs because they feel seen. And you see, it's not about the joke, it's about the frame. The belief underneath the words, the certainty of the delivery, the permission to be real. That's what makes you magnetic. And isn't that the real lesson here? What if authenticity is not something you develop, but something you uncover? And imagine that each moment you laugh at your past, you rewire your future. Because somewhere, a younger version of you is listening, eyes wide, wondering if it's possible. Stop trying to be something, and just become the version of yourself who no longer tries. And he hears this. You are enough. You are the frame. You are the process, not the product. And he smiles, not because he gets it intellectually, but because finally it clicks. Now look at comedy. Observe it not as entertainment, but as transformation wrapped in laughter. The comic critiques society, not from anger, but from insight. They say things others are afraid to. They exaggerate the truth just enough to make you feel it. And in doing so, they free people. Just as you are now freeing yourself. Because once you see that beliefs, they're just rehearsed thoughts, you realise you can rehearse new ones. Ones that say every failure is just feedback. Funny feedback. Every reaction is under my command. My energy creates the world I walk into. Isn't that interesting? You don't have to try to be charismatic, because charisma is just the result of removing everything that's not you. It's what's left behind when shame is burned up in the flame of radical self-acceptance, and the ashes become your next punchline. So you walk differently now. You think in rhythms, metaphors, frames. You speak in patterns to make people feel more like themselves when they're with you. Without realising it, they start to ask, what is it about you? But there's no it, there's only presence. Now imagine each time you open your mouth, your unconscious mind says, what message am I transmitting? Because people, they don't respond to your words. They respond to how you see yourself. And the new you, well, you're outrageous, charming, magnetic, bold. You say what needs to be said because truth is funny, and funny is freedom. And you love that now, don't you? A comedian walks onto a stage with low energy. People glance. He walks out like he owns the silence, and people lean in. Why? Because he believes he's worth hearing, and suddenly so does the audience. Or a man at a party who doesn't dominate the room. He just listens deeply. When he speaks, people shut up. Not from fear, but from curiosity. Because he's not trying to impress. He's just being. Certainty wrapped in simplicity. Now that's influence. And that is now you. Did you go even deeper into these examples? You begin living them, not learning them, because they're already yours, already installed, already active. Because what if right now you're remembering a future version of yourself who already became all of this? A version of you who laughs easily, speaks with precision, feels emotion deeply, and then releases them effortlessly. A version who plays with life like it's a game, and wins not by domination, but by resonance, by frequency, by presence. So take a breath now, not to center, but to expand. Feel how your posture changes, how your eyes soften, yet sharpen, how your voice slows, yet becomes more certain. That's not coincidence, that's alignment, that's embodiment, that's installation. You've combined all these ideas, beliefs and concepts, and you've installed them unconsciously as your new belief system and operating system. Just like the best jokes. You don't need to remember the setup to feel the punchline. And that's the punchline, isn't it? You already are exactly who you were always becoming.